Well, hey there. Welcome to the Paw Chronicles and More with Jim. Well, today what I'm doing is I'm working with Biochar. And this is something that I started this year to work with. Now, I went to a gardening show back in January, and I came across one of the vendors there that had Biochar. And I had decided, I'm gonna go out there and check them out. I took their numbers, I drove to their establishment and looked it over. Now, some people say, well, what is Biochar? Well, Biochar is nothing more than burnt wood chips. And the bag, even though it's a good sized bag, you can see how wide it is because there's no moisture in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a 5-gallon bucket. And what I'm doing is I'm in the middle of planting seedlings that are in a big pot into individual pots, pawpaw seedlings that is. Now, biochar is beneficial, but biochar is like a sponge. It'll actually suck up nutrients out of the ground and all that, and we don't want that. So one of the things that we have to do is we have to figure out a way of charging it up. Right here I have fertilizer, Fox Farm Big Grow. This is the fertilizer that I had shared last year that I was using to foliage feed. And what I'm doing is I'm mixing this. Set this over to the side. And I mixed 2 gallons worth. That calls for 10 to 15 mils per gallon. I put in just a little under 30 mils, and I'm utilizing this other watering can to put into the biochar. Now, because the biochar is, charcoal, it's extremely light, but it's also a sponge. I like to put it in this can because I want to spread it all over in here. And get that in there. It's going to work its way down into the bottom, but as it's doing so, it's passing through the top layers. It's working its way in there, and what's happening is it's sucking that fertilizer right into it. So, what is the benefits of using this? Well, one thing is it extends the nutrients and stuff for your plant. You can buy potting soils that have nutrients in them, fertilizers in them. But after a while, that plant, as it's growing, it's pulling the nutrients that's in that soil. And what this does right here, basically, it's a reserve. It's giving that extra boost down in the soil for the root system to get into, and it works out great from my understanding. This is the first year that I decided to use it, but through talking with a friend of mine that has used this time and time again, and a little bit of reading, studying up on it, I decided, let's go ahead and give this a try, and then I'm going to share it as I try it with you. And then get the last of it in there. We want that good and saturated. There we go. Now, what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll mix it in with the potting soil along with a biocarbon. Composted leaves or composted manure, and I'll take the three and mix them all together, and this will be my planting medium as far as what I'm potting up. And it's supposed to help in feeding the little seedlings that I'm going to be dealing with. I'm going to snap this lid on top of it for right now. And then I'm going to take it into the house and get ready to use it. I'll let it set up for a little while before I use it to make sure down in the bottom it starts soaking it all up. It'll actually soak up that moisture and go through all the little chips of the burnt charcoal. But it was just something that I wanted to share with you. Biochar. Something new for me to use. I'm intrigued with what I've read and studied up on about it, and we're going to see this year the results of utilizing this in our growing medium. You can also spread this into your garden, but the one thing I've come to find in studying what I've looked into and with someone I've talked with, if you don't charge it and you put it into the ground, whatever nutrients are in the ground, it'll suck those nutrients up. And because it's like a sponge, it's dry. And some people say, well, use it for a mulch. You can't put it on the ground as a mulch because it's too light. The wind will blow it away. So you got to work it down into the soil. And that's what I'm doing. I'm working it down into the growing medium that I'm going to be using for seedlings this year. Anyhow, I hope this has been helpful to you. My name's Jim. Any comments or questions that you have, I welcome. Don't forget to click on that bell for any notifications. Y'all have a God blessed day.